captured, of course, on Saturday. And yesterday, another target was caught. That's the former intelligence chief Abdullah al-Sirsi. He was one of the most sought-after members of the old regime. Our correspondent, Caroline Hawley, is in Tripoli. As far as Saif al-Islam is concerned, Caroline, is he going to be tried in Libya, or will they send him off to The Hague, do you think?
Well, certainly what officials here are saying is that they want to see him in Tripoli. I was in the town of Zintan up in the mountains yesterday, where Saif al-Islam is being held apparently in a private home. And the word there is that they want him tried in Zintan itself, because it was the militiamen from Zintan who caught him, and they say, well, why shouldn't he be tried here? But certainly I think it will be a key test of the new authorities here, how they deal with Saif al-Islam al-Gaddafi and Abdullah Sanusi, who was a hated figure. He was Muammar al-Gaddafi's intelligence chief. He was implicated in the 1996 massacre of prisoners in the notorious Abu Salim jail, and he, like Saif al-Islam al-Gaddafi, is wanted by the International Criminal Court. Now, what officials here are saying is they will cooperate with the ICC, but that they want these two men tried here in the country where they committed their crimes.
And is there evidence that they do have a properly functioning judicial system?
Not yet, and certainly that's what human rights organisations are saying. I think a lot of work would have to be done before they could carry out any such trial. Meanwhile, Saif al-Islam is being held at this undisclosed location. I was told that he was being well guarded up there. I was told he was being well treated. Apparently he'd asked for shaving foam to shave off that beard he'd grown while he was on the run. That request, I was told, was granted. He'd also asked for a mobile phone. That request was not granted. And the commander of the Zintan militia who was involved in his capture also gave me a bit of detail about the capture itself. He said that Saif al-Islam had had 2 Kalashnikovs on him and a Belgian rifle, but that he hadn't had the chance to use them, and that he'd been acting as if he was still in power. But clearly there was quite a bit of fear there, because according to this commander, Saif al-Islam had said, "Please shoot me dead." He obviously had in his mind what happened to his father, and he didn't want to be mistreated. He said, "Please shoot me dead," and the commander said, "We refused."
Caroline, many thanks.
The time now, 17 minutes to 9. Let's get some business news, and Simon's going to look at the efforts by the government to cap the number of migrants which have come under fire from economists.
Yes, the idea is under consideration by the Home Office, and it's this, that migrants from outside the EU should only be allowed to stay for 5 years maximum, and then be sent home unless they're earning more than £35,000 a year. What do you think of that? Well, a lot of economists don't like it. Christopher Passeridis is one of them. In a letter to the Financial Times, you call this policy deeply damaging. Why is that?
It's deeply damaging because it will discourage research scientists from coming into the UK, and economic growth ultimately depends on new research, and if we want to encourage policies that lead to economic growth, we should encourage more research at our universities and companies.
So, but the £35,000 cap they're talking about, that should cover some of the high-achieving, highly qualified people that you are trying to keep. What's the problem with that?
It would certainly cover some, but money, how much you pay, is not an indication of how good your research is going to be in the future. Research needs a long period of time to show how good it is. You have to persuade your colleagues, you have to persuade the rest of the science community that it's good research. That takes more than 5 years. Good examples that we can use is when we attract new lecturers at our universities, we recruit internationally. If we say to them, look, within 5 years you have to show good research to get promotion, to get a pay rise, otherwise you might be asked to go back, it will become extremely difficult to attract these people.
Your own story, I mean, you're Greek. At the time you came to the UK, Greece was outside the European community, it was then known, and you won a Nobel Prize last year. Would you have passed this test?
I wouldn't have passed the test 5 years after I came, but I doubt whether I would have come if I knew that in 5 years' time there was going to be such a test, because when I started doing my research, I thought I would take all the time that I need until I get somewhere where I'm satisfied before publishing results of the research. And the United States would have looked a much more attractive place to go than the United Kingdom.
Do you accept, though, that, for example, immigration, the issue of immigration can create tension politically? It's